Yeah.
And we want to know
She got the door.
what your thoughts
30
are about that.
seconds.
And
30 seconds.
oh, let's just bring it in.
Ready?
That's why, yeah, I wanted him to talk with you.
Okay, you can ask what time.
Ready?
Tag. I'm like,
Yeah, because he's trying.
yes.
At least.
A lot of them are trying.
Yep.
I used to handle those kind of cases.
But they took his foot card. They took his license to Barbara.
Well,
How is he going to make money to pay the child support to keep him out of jail next month?
Well, I have a client like that.
10
right now,
seconds.
so,
10 seconds.
yeah.
How many?
10.
Oh.
Be right.
Good morning, Monique Joseph.
Okay. Good morning, Keisha Duke. I don't know what's going on with this.
Here we go. Here we go.
We coming in? Hold on. Let's harmonize.
I was like, where you singing Ed's version? It sounds like Ed.
Oh, wait, no. Come on, choirs. Keep it holding. Good morning.
Good morning. Good
morning.
morning.
It's morning, and we pray the day away.
Amen. Amen.
It happened, and I am so tired that nobody cares. Good morning, Houston and surrounding continent. Sounds like I'm on that school intercom system.
All right.
It's good to be here. It's good to be present. It's good to be here. It's good to be present. It's good to be with you. This is Wendy J. Johnson Turner and the Hope Overheard Morning Prayer Team, where love is
Our arsenal.
God watches His word.
To see it perform.
And Father, I'm still watching. I don't know about
Amen.
everybody else, but I'm still watching and waiting and anticipating. I think there was a song that said that, but Father, that was all for you. And I think there was a song that said that too. But it's all yours.
Amen.
And with that said, we have yet another day of fullness. You know what's funny?
What's funny?
I think people are smart about campaign seasons.
I think so too.
I think they smart. You know, can I tell you why? Because that's when the kids are back in school. Folks is focused. They just, it's not hot outside by the time the polls are there. It's usually fall. The leaves are crisp. They're orange and reddish,
I'm waiting for those days to come back.
waiting.
Yes.
Right? And then
Yes.
people are all with pumpkins or whatever. I'm
yeah.
not a Halloween person.
No.
So, but they got their pumpkins outside and they're thinking about feeling charitable.
Yeah.
I bet that's why it's a conspiracy.
Is that what it is?
C-O-N, conspiracy. As to what's going on in this camp. I had to. I can't help myself sometimes. But we have another one that we love, and we call her a regular correspondent.
We do.
A regular correspondent.
You want to see change happen. You want to see somebody. I truly was driving yesterday, and I said, you know what? Audia Jones is the person who believes it so much, you can't help but believe it too.
Right.
Let me repeat that. When you are in your passion and you believe it so much, others got to believe it too.
Yeah.
Because you're so focused, that energy, that transfer, that conviction
Yeah.
of who you are and what it is that you're doing,
Yeah.
it continues to transfer. So I'm
Amen.
driving, I said, I don't know if people realize, but she's not only grassroots, her efforts are the real deal.
Amen. Amen.
And so I said, I'm not going to even post this still shot picture. I'm just going to repost this video.
Yeah.
Because it's going to show her where she is.
Powerhouse.
And she's here with us. And I told y'all, I love when I just give that moment with God to say, who does he listen to? Who's talking back to him? Who's responding to the call? And I'm interested, folks.
Amen.
And so with that said, our beloved Audia Jones is back in the HOH headquarters with us. Let's give God a hand.
Thank you all. Thank you all. You know I love being here. I love to be here.
And so we have a great, you know what, I like this. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. I don't know. At this point, y'all, we average a pretty good amount of folks in here. And I don't know how y'all do it. But folks is in here before 6 a.m. Believe it or not, I'm just not alone.
Amen.
Yes.
Bishop Bernadette.
Don't start that.
Burner.
Good morning. Good morning. Soon we can quit that. Okay. How y'all doing this
It
morning?
won't stop, sis. Can't stop, won't stop. You know what? You're on your way to great things tomorrow or tonight. And we're glad to see you in the house. Is there anything that's on your heart this morning?
No, I'm excited about what's coming up, but even more so, I just want you to know, I did ask you how you felt when you walked in the door, though.
Hold on.
You so
I did.
sweet.
I asked her. I said, "How you doing today?" Because
Because you care.
I do. Sometimes.
thank you.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes. And I just checked on her this morning, said how she's doing. So.
Well, no, I thank you.
You're welcome.
No,
darling.
really, because it's been an attack on my health for sure.
I know it. That's why I asked you how you doing.
Well, I appreciate that, and
God.
I really appreciate that.
Oh, God got you, girl.
I'm not. This won't be. you understand me very because we come from some of the
Yeah,
same. Because you have to catch it and go.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, you just hold on to it. Hold on to it.
I hold on.
Hold
You
on
see?
to it, just smile.
Oh my God.
Like that, see, that is I gotta learn. I gotta learn from these seats, right? But thank you for asking.
Oh, absolutely. It's a good day. It's a blessed day, and
Yes, it is.
absolutely. So
And
happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here in our own
On
house.
and on this side of heaven.
in this side of heaven, and we have such a powerhouse in our house. And
We
I was
do.
excited when you
Thank
told me
you.
she was coming back. I'm like, that's a good thing.
Aw,
I tell
thank
you.
Absolutely.
And joining us all over the country and all over the world are you right now watching in, listening in. Don't forget you can like, share, and tag this video, and also catch us where? YouTube.
HOH.
Hope Over Hurt Nation. Did you know that? You can actually get the whole content of all of this
Okay.
Hope Over
on our
Hurt
Hope Over
Nation.
and share it.
I will
Amen.
do that.
And that way your constituents, see I said that,
I see
can
that.
catch it all.
Said constituents.
I did.
Spell
She
it.
did.
Spell it. Spell it.
C-O.
Oh,
Constituents.
wait, see, hold on.
wait.
I think we're missing a.
We're missing
yeah.
an N.
Yeah,
We're missing
Hold
an
on.
N.
I'm about to really use it now. Constituency.
Constituents.
I made up a word.
Amen.
EA, I know you just sitting in on the flank.
Yeah.
What is your contention this morning besides the bathrooms ain't working? Anything
Okay.
else, brother? Because
He
the bathrooms
he
are not
could
working.
not get in the doors, which don't make no sense.
I actually had a word today, actually.
Come through. Wait, tell it about. Tell
Right,
it.
now.
It is not about the throne.
Let me fix myself. Let me
He said, "Let me fix
let me
myself."
adjust the mic. So I wanted to speak to those about, whoever, feeling disappointment today, who's feeling low, who's sad, who heard some good news but got disappointed by the good news. So yeah, that was good. I'm gonna write that down. So anyways, in life, we like to play games. We love to live through things that are not us. So one of the most enjoyable things is creating your avatar, creating your character. And before I keep going, I wrote it down too. I ain't write it down. It's on my phone. It's Romans 5, verse 3.
Oh, shucky ducky quack quack.
He said, we can rejoice too when
Yeah.
we run into problems and trials. For we know that they help us develop endurance.
That's right.
And endurance develops strength of character.
That's good.
And character strengthens our confident hope of salvation.
Amen.
And this will not lead to disappointment.
That's good.
For we know how dearly God loves us.
That's good.
Now, when we create this avatar, character as you will, if you
That's
will,
good.
we able to make it to how we want it to be.
Come
Yeah.
on.
We can make it look how we want it to look,
Yes.
the powers that we want to give it to, how fast it
Yes.
can run, etc.
Yes.
Right.
So the purpose of this is, we want to finish the mission. We go through this journey, going through all these trials and all these things,
Tell it.
trying to level up. But one thing you have to understand is
Yeah.
you can't forget about your avatar, about your character. So in a sense is, whenever you go through or play the game or trying to go through the game and you meet this level where you can't just go past it, we don't mind it because the difficulty has already been preset.
All right.
Come on. Come on.
So since it's already been preset, you got to go through it.
Yeah. You got no
So-
choice.
You can't forget about your avatar. So now, at times when we don't know what to do, we ask for help during the game.
That's good.
We ask for somebody to help us so we can pass this level.
That's good.
So you have to understand that your creator, who created the game, can also help you if you ask for help,
That's right.
right? So instead of you being in control, allow him to control and to lead you and guide you. Because I don't know about you, but that prize on the other end is for eternity.
That's good.
Not for a couple hours, not for a couple days, not for a couple weeks. But I'd rather finish my mission and level up and receive that crown at the end. That's my prize.
Come
But
on.
I just
now.
want you to understand that you are loved. He's always there with you. And no matter what, even if you're disappointed, he's going to see you through.
That's good.
I'm about to
Sir,
cry.
pass the plate, please. Sure. Pass the plate,
Oh,
please.
wait. You better
Collection
tell
time.
it.
Collection time.
If you didn't get that word, it's because you weren't close enough.
Top shelf, top
And,
shelf.
and that came to me when I was going through this journey of this whole restroom debacle. It just popped in my head, and I'm like,
Yes,
you know
it
what?
was so
He just
crisp
killed it.
and
He
fresh
just
and
killed it.
rich until
Just
then.
killed it. Just
I thought that was a whole deep moment.
was.
You made it as
was.
shallow as that. Come on.
What? I'm
wanna
just letting
tell
you.
you,
I'm letting you know how it came to me. You know?
When
Oh my goodness.
Audia,
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't even. You know we got character. That was
I
E.A.
know.
Luscious. He goes
That
and
was
reaches
top
for the
shelf.
ladies. That's top shelf. But he is God
How you
all
doing,
in.
babe? How you doing?
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
he actually goes and meets women. His pickup is to go into there, and if you can't reach something, he says, "Do you need help?" reaching. So we call it the Reach Tour.
The reach.
He says he does really well at Sam's and Costco.
Never
I
said that, by
bet.
the way.
Oh,
Because
no.
it's heavy and I
sounds
can't make
good.
this lie up.
Okay.
Merlene is in
Oh
the
my
house
God.
along with Sister Veronica by way of Brooklyn, and you all
Amen.
just say good morning this morning as we just come upon that 15.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Veronica and Merlene. You know what, Merlene? I gotta ask you something. Do you like pecan pie or is it pecan pie?
Oh my.
Oh yeah, when it's a little bit, I don't like it hot. You got to put it in the refrigerator, get it a little
Okay.
cool. I love it.
Okay, so what do you call it? Pecan or pecan?
It's pecan.
Pecan
Okay.
pie.
It sounds fancy.
It sounds. It sounds fancy, Mother Merlene. You know we are praying for you and having your church mother installation next month, right?
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. The colors are navy blue. Everybody, when we come back, we got real talk, real good stuff for you. Don't go nowhere. Keep it locked right here. Hey, family, Facebook, Instagram. I'm about to turn these cameras so you can say hello to the family as they do their Life Train, Soul Train line while the commercial's up. Amen. We thank God for you watching in. All right. I'm going to turn it.
Good
And they gonna come by
morning.
and wave and say they good morning. That's Audia. Isn't she cute in her
Good
morning. That's her
morning.
Easter suit, y'all.
This is my Easter suit.
Girl, she look like a
The
whole
Easter suit.
pretty
You
little
are
guy.
so crazy.
Cute.
Hilarious.
You cute.
Guys are hilarious.
Good morning. You want to come on over to the other side? I know. Questions?
Good morning, Misty and Jerry.
No, well, I brought a commercial. And it's perfect for you to grab that seat right across. Baby.
Good morning, Landon.
Good morning.
We need some.
Good morning, Ken and Sugar.
You on that other one, y'all. Veronica, you all right this morning? By the way, I laughed hard on that tambourine boot, but I didn't say it back. It was right at crunch time. But I was hollering. She sent me a boot with tambourines on the bottom. You can stomp and praise.
Oh,
and say,
really?
yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Take your worship to another level. Everybody, we're glad to have y'all back, and I have these here so that I can. Wait.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've got
Is that my song?
Yeah.
yeah, you've got about 45 seconds. Not even that much. About 30
Can I
seconds
turn?
of it.
Yo. Oh, you can get on by. You can get on by there, Slim Pickens. Use a buck. That one now. Y'all, we're gonna keep it still like. Audia, you know. Okay, you got. Landon loves you.
I know. He came to the meet and greet.
Brian, he
Brian
did.
came
Brian,
to the meet
oh.
and greet. That was
I
so
think
sweet.
Brian sees her and just sees emojis. I ain't never seen it.
10
It's
seconds.
like this.
10 seconds.
He loves what she's speaking about, and he loves her, and it's just
Here
awesome.
we go.
Y'all good? You good?
Yes,
we
he
go.
said, Landon, how's
Coming
he
in.
doing with
He's
the
right
baby?
here saying good
Oh.
morning,
Yeah.
Madam DA.
Hi, Landon.
He wrote
Good
that
morning.
on social media.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Landon. How's that baby? How's that
Oh,
sleep?
don't
how's
talk about-
Hey, how's that sleep coming?
Oh, they're doing all calls. They're
Oh, I
trying to
know.
figure that one out.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back. Can you believe that break goes so fast? This is Wendy J. Turner. You're listening right here to Rise Up and Pray. We believe that prayer works. We believe prayer is the communicative faith action model that we use to speak to the Creator, the uncreated one, the Most High God. But we do that, and also He allows us an opportunity to change things on the earth. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. As it is that preposition that allows you to tap in and do something about your situation.
Right.
Do we realize that? The Lord's Prayer on earth as it is why you can evoke change. It's why you can stand for something. It's basically you saying kingdom align with earth.
Amen.
To do that takes some guts, some courage, and I have somebody here that's willing to take her faith and make it into actions. Audia Jones comes with an extensive resume. You know what? I was thinking also about you the other day. I said, you know, you just make us have to believe because you believe like you believe, and I love that, and I can
Amen.
relate.
Conviction.
But I Thurgood, I don't know what I need to just say. Thurgood Marshall School of Law. I think folks are sleeping. You have produced some of the most critically thinking, thought-provoking, trend-setting leaders I have seen in the last 15 years, and I just want to salute Thurgood Marshall School of Law.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's good.
Absolutely.
And she is from there, and your heart, your passion is in you. But I just believe that you've been given an idea that you could, and I thank God for that.
Yes.
So, Audia, you're back with us. You are running for an important seat. You taught us. You have schooled us. You've made it plain. I did not appreciate fully the capacity of a DA
Yes.
until meeting you.
Okay.
And because that happened, the light bulb went off. And I think the more we educate, then people would want to volunteer. They'd want to
Right.
donate because this changes life
Yes.
as we know it.
Yes, absolutely.
So we welcome you here. Kim Youngblood is here. If you're watching on YouTube, she is here. She is the campaign coordinator, manager.
Amen.
And she just ensures everything is working for the good. Amen.
Amen.
Audia, it's so many things to discuss with you. Your platform has a lot of different dynamics, but one we know for sure. And please, this is your time. You tell us and navigate how this goes.
Yeah.
We know criminal justice reform, especially for the demographic that comes onto these calls,
Right.
is super duper important.
Oh, necessary.
See?
Necessary. I mean, what we've seen is that our criminal justice system has turned into a caste system. It's turned into modern day slavery. I don't know how else I can put it. Once people are marked as felons or even have a criminal record, we know how difficult it is for individuals to gain housing, how difficult, if even possible, any longer to get educational assistance. Housing assistance, food assistance, support for raising children. It essentially becomes impossible. You get marked with the scarlet letter, and what we've seen is this huge war on drugs that began in the 1980s that specifically targeted the Black and brown communities and continues moving forward to this very day. And I guess it goes back to those numbers that we talked about, where as recent as 2018, when a study was done, 77% of our Harris County jail is full of nonviolent offenders, and that includes on the felony level as well. So many of those individuals are in jail, and this is even before they're convicted of anything, any type of crime. These are just individuals typically that can't afford to get out because of their cash bail, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later. Like, what is cash bail, and how is it really destroying our communities? And when I say destroying our communities, the Black and brown communities, it's destroying our white counterparts as well. When we talk about the poor, the individuals that are drug addicted, and the individuals that are suffering from mental health issues. But again, with absolutely public safety being our number one concern, we're saying all of this can be accomplished by rebuilding a system, ensuring that the public is safe, but we can make sure we're ending mass incarceration, because what we're doing now and what's been going on in even the last couple of decades is not making us safer. It's actually making us less safe when we continue to incarcerate individuals because of a drug addiction. We cannot arrest our way out of drug addiction. We cannot arrest our way out of poverty. We cannot arrest our way out of individuals that are suffering from mental health issues. And that's what we've seen. We've seen time and time again, that's what we've seen district attorneys across the country try and do. Things are really changing. And where it has changed, we have seen a substantial amount of change. The public has become safer. It's become a better community for everybody. And that's what we're trying to bring right here to Harris County.
So what we have happening, I want to make sure that we have an Instagram crew that is there, and we're trying to make sure the volume is adjusted. And so what you see me doing is trying to figure this out, sis. Yes, please let me know if that's better. I apologize for that. Hold on one moment. We want to make sure you're hearing this information. Test 1, 2 each day and every day. And always know you can go on the app and hear this. You want to hear what she's saying.
Absolutely.
This affects us as a country. She's running for county,
Amen.
but you have to team up with like-minded people to run other counties
Right.
or parishes or what have you, I'm assuming, so that we can make a united front. So that said, please tell me, can you hear us now? I'm not sure. I need to.
We'll wait for the response.
Yeah, we'll wait for a response.
Absolutely. Go ahead, press through.
Yeah, so what we know is this. I want to know what is it, Kim is our incumbent, right?
Yes, we have a current district attorney.
Okay. You've been posting some things that you didn't allegedly assume. These are in black and white articles that are being stated. What's your take on? I want to ask you to wear two hats.
Okay.
I want you to wear an empathy hat
Okay.
and an accountability hat.
Yes.
You tell us which hat that you're going to talk to us from.
Okay.
So, which hat will you choose? Because there's some actions happening. There's some news reports happening.
Right.
So just from which vantage point will you speak? Those are the two.
I'm gonna choose accountability.
Okay.
Because that's what we've seen a lack of
good.
when it comes to our current district attorney.
Okay.
You know, and we'll speak about that because I think it's important. You know, your biggest thing when I came in originally was, wow, you brought a lot of things to light. And what I always tell people, all of this stuff has been out in the public for years since she got into office in 2016. So this is not me making this up. This is not me feeling a certain way. This is not a direct attack. This is facts are facts. And that's what I think it's important for people to understand before they take action and head to the voting booth and vote on someone just because of a name or because they have money or financially set. You know, we have to, number one, look where that money is even coming from.
Okay.
So
So then so that's what you feel about her in accountability seat.
correct.
Now I want you to put on the empathy hat.
Yes.
Can you?
Oh, absolutely. I've worn the empathy hat my whole life. So that's nothing out of the ordinary.
What is it that you feel about her that's from an empathy standpoint?
I empathize, I'll say, for district attorneys, period. I don't think it's an easy job. I will say that. I'm not here to say, hey, I'm going to be the perfect person. Every human being was made imperfectly.
Right.
And it takes a village. It takes a strong team, but it also takes strong leadership. So I empathize because I am not stepping into this role or seeking this role because I'm saying, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm going to be this shining beacon of perfect light.
Right.
But what I will bring to the table is honesty, integrity, leadership.
Do you think if there was a way to say, do you feel as though there's just a missing piece of the engagement of understanding the people, relatability that may be happening at present?
I would say that if it was one or two incidents. I would say that. You know, it's almost like I'm speaking with my children. So when I think I spoke to my niece the other day, and I said, you know, when you do something once or twice, we will accept the mistake. When it becomes 7, 8, 9, 10 times, becomes your character, your habit.
True. Yeah.
And so what is something that you can say you've seen? Like, what is something that is repetitive?
Okay. A lack of integrity. And being the lead in one of the most powerful actors in our criminal justice system is disturbing to see that, right? Because essentially in that role, you are literally determining life and death over the individuals that live in Harris County. So our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our aunts, our uncles, our grandchildren. We have a district attorney who has it's been found that she lied about data, literally lied about data, and that was right there in the Houston Chronicle. But she provided false information to do a request for 100 new prosecutors asking for $20 million of taxpayer money. And that was going to be based on false information.
When you do this, when you falsify information, what happens?
Well, typically when you falsify information, right, charges can be pressed against you, depending on what kind of position you're in. You know, if it was an everyday civilian, and that's what we've failed to see, is that individuals that are in these powerful positions that we entrust more authority to are being held well below the standard of everybody else.
So there's no accountability process in place if you know you've been. When you say she lied, she admitted it? Did she admit lying?
No, she didn't admit it. It looked like there was some writers that dug into it.
Sure.
They did some open records requests.
Okay.
And gathered the data. And once they gathered the data, they aligned it with what was provided at the commissioner's court and found out that that data was twisted.
Okay. This is a big hat to wear. We are the 4th largest city. I don't know where we rank in terms of county.
We are the 3rd largest county in the United States and number 1 most diverse county in the country.
Wow.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
And so that's a big seat to fill.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
How are people receiving you? What is the temperament of those that you are reaching out to right now? What do they feel as though it's idealistic? Do they feel as though it's achievable?
Yeah, no, the feedback's been amazing. I will say that. I'm going to start. The feedback's been amazing. People have hope. I think we give them a sense of hope, and it's not an idealism because these are things that we've seen happening all over the country. Just it's starting to trickle in. I tell people, if we ever do run into a doubter, how are you going to change a system where people don't want change? Well, at one point, I mean, nobody wanted slavery to end either.
Right.
Come on now.
Come on now.
Right? So I think it's time for us to recognize we wouldn't be sitting in this room like this if someone hadn't made a change.
Amen.
If someone hadn't taken a turn somewhere off of the normal status quo. And that's what we're trying to do today. We're trying to get off the status quo. We are trying to get away from slavery in Harris County because right now we have a district attorney that is essentially trying to enslave our communities.
Okay.
That's heavy. You heard it here. When we come back, can I make a joke? We in jail. We in jail without the bail.
Yeah.
We in jail. We in jail because we failed, or did we fail the system? When we come back, don't go anywhere. This is Wendy J. Turner. You're listening right here. Rise up and pray. Can y'all hear us now? Instagram. We're having those difficulties. We don't want you to miss it. If you can't get it, get us on Facebook, get us on the app, get us on YouTube. A full YouTube page of everything can be seen even better. So can we do this, a mic check? Y'all doing all right this morning?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Raise up that energy. I know we pushing through, y'all. It's Labor Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. The reason it's important because what we're hearing, I'm like, the question always becomes, and this is offline. Hold on. Wait. So did they say yes? Okay. Pappy says they can hear. So I'm going to go with Pappy. Pappy says we can hear. Victor Reed, Robert Cormier, Cedric Gales, Chioma Graham, Eduardo, of course, is here. Nathan, Misty, we love you. Derek, Crawford, now Kim Gwen, Frank Jones, Malcolm Prophet. Hello, everybody. Those numbers don't say how many people are on. It's the strangest thing ever. It shows one person, but I just named those names. Go figure. And then, of course, we love you over here, Jude. You coast to coast watching in. And by the way, does this affect you? It does, because anything can trend. You have a county situation and someone's finding it favorable and people buy into it. You then change the trajectory of life as we know it by joining in. We cannot stay disunified. It's killing us. Literally.
Actually, the surcharges that are going to be dropped, like people getting locked up because they're not paying their fees for their surcharges.
Good morning.
As far as the cash bail reform?
No, for like driving, like any traffic tickets or speeding tickets.
I don't understand your question.
The surcharges, they target low class
Yes,
communities
yes,
because
yes.
of the funds that are being increased that they can't pay.
Right.
So you automatically just send them to jail because they don't have the money to pay for it, and then the license is suspended, so they're not even.
Yes.
15
able to
seconds.
work 'cause,
Yep, because they're in jail. People are still getting locked up over DWLIs, driving while licensed invalid.
10 seconds.
So
5,
I'm gonna
4,
segue this.
3,
Okay.
2. Here we go.
And we're back. You're at the bottom of the hour, meaning that you have about 28 minutes to get to your place of purpose or that job that pays you on that W-2, W-9, 1099.
Thank God for a purpose.
You know, okay? You got to just get there. Like I love to say, don't speed, don't get in trouble, but get there on time, amen?
But if you do get in trouble, you got Audia Jones on your side. Ooh, where would
Don't
I be?
yell my name out for no traffic ticket.
You know what? She's a great referral source. I don't even know how she's balancing it all. However, the platform is real, folks. This is Rise Up and Pray. You're listening right here Monday through Fridays at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. We love you. We love doing this. We love encouraging you, changing the narrative, having you become reflective and aware while praying.
Yes.
Amen. Faith without works is dead, and this is the work. Amen.
Amen.
So we had a brother in here last week, sister. DeMarcos Davis. And the story was I told him off air and on air, we have 4 parts to this story. Yours, the mama,
Right.
the children, and the truth of God, what God sees, right?
Yep.
I said, so all we could get is 1/4, 25% of this. But I felt compelled to want to help him. When he explained his situation, he's like, I'm trying to get off of figuring out this child support. He has 3 children, and one of the mothers basically didn't tell him he had the child until the child was past 4 years of age.
Okay.
Now he's paying back pay, and he was refused and denied a DNA test. Forgot Judge Torres, I think she is, 313th court. I may be getting that court number wrong, but she denied him. So he doesn't know if this is really his child, they don't live together. He doesn't see him. But he's like, I'm going to court next week. They've taken my offshore card. I can't go make real money. They have started to, of course, garner my wages. I went and did forklift work. They took $700 of it. He explained the fee breakdown. He said, they've taken my license to be a barber. So how can I make the money to pay the $1,000 that's just going to slow it down for 3 months? I don't know what to do. I'm in this system. I've reached out. I know I've messed up. I may not understand it all, but I'm trying to fight. I can't afford an attorney. This kind of connects to bail. It kind of connects to the system you're explaining. I imagine this analogy could be connected, such as quicksand. Once you're in,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
How
difficult.
how do you get out?
I mean, when we have in our county, more than half of the people are living below the poverty line.
Sure.
And you have individuals such as the young man that you're talking about from yesterday,
Right.
that are really struggling to get on the right track.
Right.
And it's so difficult when you just do not have the finances.
Yeah.
But
is.
what we've seen with our cash bail system, where when
Right.
we look at something like that, and just to explain it to everybody that's watching,
Yeah.
Cash bail is essentially if you get arrested for violating any type of crime or on suspicion of a crime, you are not automatically found guilty.
Okay.
But you are processed and brought to the Harris County Jail. Now, once you're in the jail, what we've had here in Houston or Harris County is a cash bail system that was supposed to be used as an exception. It was only supposed to be used, it was placed, a money amount was placed on you in order to get out of jail, but it specifically was supposed to be used only if you were a danger to the community or a flight risk, more specifically. There are a few other factors that work into that.
I don't like where this is going.
Right, but what we've seen is over the past couple of decades, it's turned into the norm rather than the exception. And more recently, dealing with just misdemeanor offenses, we had a federal judge rule that the way we've been using cash bail and essentially setting a bail amount on somebody once they get arrested for misdemeanors is unconstitutional. So pretty much it's saying, hey, Harris County, your system has been doing it all wrong, and what you're doing is illegal as compared to what the United States Constitution is saying. As far as holding individuals locked up for a monetary amount, and really it's not making the community safer, and they are not at risk of flight, especially if you can't afford to even get out of jail. Where are they flying out to?
That's crazy.
Wait.
That's a very valid
No.
statement. Wow.
I have a question.
Yes.
That's crazy.
What do you mean? Okay. What do you mean? Okay. No, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Let me no.
Okay.
Help me because
Okay.
this is not logical. You're telling me. I understand that there's different powers, executive branch, local, blah blah blah.
Right.
No shade. You're telling me that it's known to be unconstitutional, and you're saying that Harris County is still practicing?
Well, okay, so what we have is a federal judge. It was a lawsuit that was originally brought. It was originally brought when they had another slate of judges in. The old slate of judges were with the older regime, so they were in support of cash bail. So essentially, they supported continuing to
Grandfathering
hold typically majority of Black, brown individuals that are poor, drug addicted, or suffering from mental health issues. They agreed with the fact that they were being held in jail and could not get out just because they could not afford it. A federal judge heard the case. They heard both sides of the story. We had a misdemeanor court judge, Daryl Jordan, that was at that time the only judge that was willing to stand up in support of the individuals and say, hey, these individuals are being locked up and can't afford to get out because they're getting arrested for driving without a license valid.
Right.
People were locked up and just could not afford a $50 bail amounts, possession of marijuana, right? And so these are things that literally were not making our community safer. They were not a danger to the community, and they were not at flight risk, but they just were in jail for a significant amount of time just because they could not afford to get out. And oftentimes they were in jail for longer periods because they couldn't afford to get out than they would even be given if they were to have pled guilty and be facing time in jail.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm asking the hard question.
Yeah.
Directly. Is it still happening here?
Oh, it's still happening.
That's-
It's still happening.
Okay.
We have reached a settlement as it regards to misdemeanor offenses. So there has been a settlement. So that
Praise
okay,
God.
fast forward to 2018, the new judges came in. There was a new slate of judges that came in.
Okay.
Very progressive minded, looking to move forward and build a fair and equitable criminal justice system. And I will, I'll even go with a stretch to say a majority of them are African American women.
Amen.
Right? We know we had the
Yes.
19 that ran, but a majority were African American women, with another mix being African American and Hispanic males. And they came in and they dropped the lawsuit on the judge's behalf and said, hey, we support our community. We support the citizens that are being held. And we don't believe that individuals that just can't afford to get out should not be in there if they're not a threat to the safety of our citizens and are not a flight risk. So now they had been working with, the Democratic commissioners, our county commissioners. They work with them, the new ones that were newly elected. They worked with them and they reached a settlement. And the settlement was like, hey, now we have elected officials that are serious about criminal justice reform. They want to support the Black and brown communities that are being oftentimes targeted, in addition to our white counterparts that just can't afford to get out.
Okay.
And they reached a historic bail settlement. So it's a historic settlement. This is unheard of, especially in a county as large as ours, where they're saying, where we have elected officials that are willing to stand up on the side of what's right for the community, to say people should not be locked in cages.
And this
for
was
money.
as of when? When was this settlement reached, approximately? Or
Oh, the settlement was just recently reached, I think not too long ago. I want to say even a few weeks to a month ago.
okay.
A few
So
months
finally,
ago.
somebody's unifying to change a narrative.
Correct.
In my hand, I have a media advisory.
Yes.
So and by the way, let me do a breakdown, and I think it helps us because, listen, this doesn't mean anything if you don't understand
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Law level, we had our brother Derek Reed on yesterday. He spoke about moving the needle with lawmaking. Today, she's speaking of whether or not the law is enforced.
Correct.
DA's, which she is running for, the seat as the Harris County District Attorney, actually says, do I want to enforce this law or do I want to just lock you up? Literally, the DA, people, y'all need to know this wherever you're living.
Yeah.
They have the power to determine what happens with your house, your family, your job, your livelihood, life as you know it, with one stroke of a pen, with one strike of a computer. If they press enter, that means it could be something already in the pipeline to change your life. One finger, literally, the power can rest with the DA. There are laws in place, but as you're hearing, it's just now becoming where you can see a possible change in the hearts of man to do this.
Right.
So, Audia is running for the position. I need y'all to understand that. The one that says, do I want to follow this legislation?
Correct.
That's why this call and this segment is so dagnam important. Therefore, I hope that made more sense to y'all. That's what the DA does. When you get locked up, she also has taught us this. For those who didn't know, what are we looking like? Perfect. When you're locked up, you are going against something more than a traffic stop. If it's going to go misdemeanor or higher, correct?
Correct.
Then if they're going to take you to jail, the police, I know this is the county, at least we're in. I'm not sure if this is all counties. But if you, and everybody on this call knows what it's like to be a little fearful when a police drives up, especially with the temperament of today.
Yes.
If you see that happen and they have you for tickets, for warrants, whatever, and they say they're about to lock you up, you're going to be processed. They are, in theory and practice, supposed to call the intake office, correct, of the DA.
Correct.
To see if you will be able to be processed, if they can be accepting the arrest. In other words, the DA decides to that police, if they do it right,
Correct.
whether or not you can go to jail or not.
Right there at that time.
That's 24 hours a day they're on call to do
24
that.
hours a day, 7 days a week.
But some people are going to jail without seeing if the police is doing. So you can ask the police, excuse me, have you made the phone call to the district attorney to see if they'll accept this misdemeanor?
So that's my question. So is that in the process of them arresting you at that moment, or is it when they get you to the jailhouse?
At that moment.
Also, very much
At
on the
that
street.
moment. On
before
the
you get
streets.
before you go away.
On the street, they call the intake office
Come on.
during Hurricane Harvey,
Yep.
Yes.
Chesapeake. highest level water, the intake division was open.
Gotcha.
And they are required to call the district attorney's intake office, where a prosecutor will always answer.
Wow.
The police officer will go down the facts, they will explain the situation, and they literally have the key to whether you're going to jail or will stay out free, whatever the policy is. So when we talk about it being a lot of power and people have overlooked it, the district attorney literally holds the key to life and death,
Yes.
liberty or incarceration
Right.
to each one of you, each one of your family members. The district attorney holds the key to life and death in Harris County.
Do y'all hear it?
That's good news. It's
This
good to know.
is good to know. So I know we have just 1 minute before the next break. This paper, you're telling me of the settlement. Are we going to be able to understand how this relates to this conference you're going to be doing in the next 4 hours?
Yes.
When we come back, more from our sister who we believe in to make change happen. Audia is right here in studio. This is Rise Up and Pray with Wendy J. Turner and the Hope Over Her family. Don't go anywhere. We love you. Y'all pushing through? Clap it up. I need some energy in this room. I know. I was tired, boss. I was tired. Now, I was tired. I hope that's helping because so many people do not realize that. Because I have new people that join in that maybe didn't hear the first time.
Right.
Misty Scott says shameful. This needs to change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Landon says wake up, people. This is where we are. So here you're telling me about this paper, right? And so how does this relate to the monumental settlement of those coming? How does this connect with what you just said about the historical settlement?
Yeah, so we haven't even gotten to the real hitter part, the part that's about to shock you. So remember, I tell you we got in this new slate of super reform-minded judges that are willing to stand up against, I guess, essentially the establishment and say, hey, we stand on the side of the community.
Okay.
We support the community. We have them as well as the 3 Democratic county commissioners that worked with them, fought I believe the county, taxpayers ended up paying about $7 million to enforce cash bail. To enforce it. Yeah, and so they use our tax money to fight to keep us locked up. I mean, I don't even know how much we need to talk about that when we get on. But yes, they've used our tax money of $7 million of it instead of getting drug rehabilitation centers, instead of using it towards educational resources, instead of using it towards housing, instead of using it towards mental health facilities. We used it to say we need to keep people locked up.
And don't know.
And
so
don't know.
Every time we pay a state tax in our checks.
Oh yeah, you were paying to help
What about when we
keep
buy
people in
something
jail?
at the grocery store? And there's
Tax.
That anything.
Taxpayer money out of Harris County.
seconds.
But that's not even the hitter. Like I said, then we have a district attorney who claimed to be a Democrat, progressive reformer, and got up there and filed a brief. So she essentially filed a paperwork and opinion that was against the settlement.
Wow.
So she filed in support of keeping our communities in jail
My Lord.
for money. If you can't afford it, you stay in.
What the? Okay.
That's sad. 10 seconds.
Jesus. Okay. And this is several of you joining this. Several of you doing this today?
4,
They're going to be there. They're going to
3,
be present. Yes.
2, 1.
What the devil is going on?
a
If
lot.
Marvin Gaye was here, he'd be singing that every day.
Yes, he would be.
Oh, Marvin.
What's going on?
What's going on?
He was before his time.
He was. He was totally before his time because we want to know what's going on. We're here live right now. You're listening in, folks. We thank you for joining us on Amazing 102.5 FM. We thank you for joining us right here with HOH 777. Love is
Our arsenal.
It is a Thursday. It's Labor Day weekend, and we are talking things that are important. It's not just politics, but it's the kind that is applied into your life. How does it connect to you? Well, if you're listening in and have been listening, we want to invite you to know more. Don't forget, you can get the full scope if you're just getting in on this call, getting in on this sipping, and if you're just waking up. Check it out on YouTube, Hope Over Hurt Nation. It just may help your family, this kind of information, to stop or get out of jail or remain out. Amen. And the sister says, explain bail reform.
Correct.
Right? So that is what we have been talking about. I'm glad you're joining us. Rebecca here watching in. Thank you all of the newcomers this morning that have just jumped in this last bottom of the hour. So Audia, you just dropped a bomb on us.
Yeah.
You're going to connect and bridge this.
Yes.
It's all you, sister. What's up? Talk to us.
Yeah. So again, when we talk about cash bail, we talk about the lawsuit that was filed by the previous judges that was saying, hey, we need to continue keeping people locked up for these nonviolent offenses.
Nonviolent
Nonviolent.
offenses.
Their majority of them are nonviolent, and they will remain in there if they can't pay.
Because
If
they're a threat to the society?
not because they're a threat.
Because they're a threat to their mom?
Nope.
Because
Because they don't have $1 in their bank account.
so because they are not a threat, and they can't afford it, they stay. Do people work in prison?
What do you mean? Oh, sometimes, yeah. So, I mean, people get jobs in prison, but they get paid. I mean, you get paid such a minimal amount. I don't know what exactly it is that they get paid in Harris County Jail, or if they do. I know oftentimes people get paid like 5-10 cents an hour. I don't know what the case is in Harris County Jail, but what I can tell you is that what we're doing, what we had been practicing, a federal judge held it to be essentially illegal under the Constitution of the United States, that what we were doing in Harris County by locking people up in misdemeanor offenses and putting a monetary amount on it, where they just were locked up and could not afford to get out. Because if you could afford to get out, you
Right.
got out. And 9 times out of 10 is proven, if you are locked up, you're more likely to plead guilty to something that you hadn't even done just to get out,
Just
and
to
get back
get
on your feet.
free.
But the shocker that I was telling you about
Yeah.
is we brought in and we elected as citizens. We
Yeah.
elected these progressive-minded people. The judges have come in and done their part. Judge Daryl Jordan led the charge. The other African-American women that were elected, as well as the black and brown individuals and our white counterparts that came in on a very progressive tip,
Sure.
came in and they did their job. They dropped the lawsuit. That essentially the citizens, we paid $7 million in taxpayer money to uphold a system that had been held illegal under the Constitution. So we paid our own taxpayer dollars to then be held back in jail for not being able to afford getting out.
Now I have to pause because I want to
yes.
make it plain.
Yes.
$7 million.
$7 million.
If you went to work, if you paid bills, you went to the store, and any taxes that were incurred, I'm assuming that way, right?
Correct. Yes.
That goes to county.
Correct.
That money was allocated to say stay in jail,
Correct.
not to reform,
Correct.
not to rehab,
Correct.
not to mental health facilities, but literally anything you did that accrued tax. Did you know that? I mean, I need to make it plain for those watching and listening. Did you know that's what your money did? Chances are, until just now, you didn't.
Right. And let me bridge the gap. So where it comes in as a shock is that we elected this district attorney who's currently sitting in office, who said, yes, I am a progressive reformer. I want to help the black and brown communities that are disproportionately being targeted,
Right.
that are disproportionately being destroyed. We have individuals that are being taken away from their kids, from their homes, from their livelihoods,
Right.
because they literally cannot afford to get out. And I'm talking about for charges as low as a driving while license invalid. So that's what she said in 2016. Now, just last week, Thursday,
Right.
after the settlement has been going on and was officially made. Now, I'm talking about, this has been talk after talk, meeting after meeting that they've had. So this was not an overnight settlement. This is where elected officials had the chance to come in and air what they believed was going to be fair. At no point did the district attorney step in at that time until just last Thursday. She issued a report, essentially, and an opinion, which is called a brief. It was called an amicus brief. It sounds more legalese than it is. It can be a scary word. All it is an opinion that came directly from the district attorney. She flipped the script on us, and she said, I am against this settlement. I am against the settlement. I am against your black and brown people staying out of jail because they can't afford it. I am against people that are poor, that are white and different ethnicities staying out of jail because they can't afford it. I am against people getting out just because they're impoverished. I'm against people getting out just because they're drug addicted. They need to stay right in there.
Why?
So
Did she say
that's
why?
what
Did she give a reasoning?
she said, because she did not believe that the judges would use their discretion wisely. So, this is what I find suspicious. After we've elected a slate of majority African-American women,
Right.
majority of African-American males as well as Hispanic males, and some of the most progressive white counterparts that we've seen in decades, especially in the third largest county in the United States, strangely enough, our district attorney does not trust their discretion.
Right.
Interesting.
I'm like, I'm like, how else can I say it? I mean, other than writing it out, anybody, let me put this out there and be very clear. I know it's, someone's going to say shots fired, but, and it is what it is. Anybody that is standing with the district attorney, standing next to her, standing beside her, standing around her and supporting her ideals or position, you hate the Black and brown communities. Let me say it like that. You hate the Black and brown communities.
Okay. That's it. Yep. Shots fired.
And you
she's
are
a
not
cat.
in support of it.
Man down.
You are not in support
Hold
of
on.
it. You
Man
are not
down.
in support of the destruction. You are aiding and abetting the
truth is-
destruction of our communities.
The truth will set you free.
Yeah.
Man down.
And there will be you know what? I don't know what this is gonna look like. She's
Truth
well.
hurts,
Here's the
man.
deal. September 21st, I believe you're on a forum.
Yeah, and actually, tomorrow we're
Just
on
let
a
me
forum.
just dig in
Today, today, and I see Latanya Whittington watching the cannabis reform panel. We will be on that tonight, so you guys come on out 6 to 9.
Cannabis
Cannabis
reform panel.
Yes.
But I'm also speaking of the one with our beloved Mayor
Yes.
Sylvester Turner. Who you?
Listen, this is what I'm going to say. I'm not calling any names.
Hold
I'm
on.
telling you to go take a look on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Anybody standing with her, beside her, around her from Thursday moving forward hates the Black and brown community and should not get your vote. If you are concerned about our counterparts, regardless of their race, if you are concerned about the safety of our community, if you are concerned about our white counterparts who are poor, who are drug addicted, who are suffering from mental health issues, if you are in support of those type of individuals and you say we need to have a fair and equitable community, we need a community and a criminal justice system that's fair for everybody regardless of their race, if you are standing with our current district attorney, you are against our Black and brown communities. You hate our Black and brown communities. So look and see who's standing in those pictures, and you make sure you keep that in mind when it's time to go to the election polls.
Boom. Shakalaka.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. That's
I
right.
mean, that's true.
Man
though.
down.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, there's no other way to put
That's
it.
real talk.
There's
It's
so
true.
much stuff
Right.
that she has done consistently.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, it becomes habit. It gets past the point of being something where you can apologize your way out. When this is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th thing that you have done to destroy our communities, when this is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th thing you've done to destroy the white communities, working class communities, you hate the people you represent. You hate the people that put you into office, and you do not deserve to be there. And anybody that's supporting you does not deserve to be in their position as well.
Good. Okay.
Today, you're standing in front of Harris County Jail
Yes.
at 10 a.m.
Yes, at 10 a.m. we will be holding a little breakdown, of this amicus brief. Like I said, it sounds more than what it is.
That's what you're going to be
Oh,
talking
that's what
about
we're going to
today?
be talking about. We will be talking about. I will be doing a layman's breakdown.
Is this gonna be televised?
We will be having it filmed and pushing that out in the
Absolutely.
next coming days. So
Gotcha.
that will be available on all the platforms. So like it, share it, repost it, put it out.
Absolutely.
This is. Yep.
You all right, sis?
You know what, man?
You're never
because
lost for words.
This
but
is.
I know.
I got you.
Say it. Well, I'm always pegged as radical. You know, folks tired
Oh,
of hearing my
you have a
mouth.
twin down there.
But I want love to be our answer, but unfortunately, love and prayer works with works. And what she's saying is,
right.
in her opinion, but you can see exactly her opinion in the connecting of a dot.
yeah.
Right.
You can't deny that if that's happening. The question is, if you know these black and white in the paper allegations, you see it. You have the proofing. I would love to speak with her. I've already put in an invite to Mayor Turner. I want him to walk with me out there, see the streets. And I know that I just want the right thing for real. I
Absolutely.
want the right
Absolutely.
thing for you. I care about when I'm pointing at society. I want us to wake up spiritually. I want us to be able to unify, because right now, this is not the time to keep playing these games of cat scratch.
Right.
We have real bombs coming, folks. We have real bombs that are
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
And if we can't get this small stuff together, we won't ever be in a place where we're a collaborative community. We won't be in a place where we can unify and truly use our strength in a laser focused precision fashion. And it's moments like this when you have to say, who's speaking up for the least of these?
Right.
So I am just when I hit the bell, it's me saying shots fired or doggone it. What do we do? She's about to speak on this at Houston City Hall, excuse me, Harris County Jail. If you want to join them, 701 North San Jacinto Street here in Houston.
Yes.
You will probably be able to catch this on social media. If you want to see the grassroots works of this woman and her, when is election?
The primary election is March 3rd, 2020.
How can they donate?
You can donate online at www.audia, that's AUDIA, Jones, JONES.com.
How can they find you?
They can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Audia, that's AUDIA, 4FORDA.
It would look like Audia for a day.
Yes. It looked like Audia Forda. I know some people are like,
That's
oh,
not a
Miss
name.
Forda. I'm like, oh, no,
As
no,
always.
4DA.
And remember, when we get off air, we've already talked. Marco, just know he says you got my support. We've talked about you, brother. We only have a few more seconds, but we're asking her what to do and how to handle this situation with you. With only 30 seconds, stay on after we hang up. And I'm going to just ask her one more question for you. Don't think we've forgotten about you because we spoke about you at the top. This is Wendy J. Turner. You're listening right here to Rise Up and Pray. Just know we've got a Labor Day music lineup for you on Monday. You're going to have so much fun. You're going to want to listen to HOH 777 because it's barbecue
All
ready.
day on Monday.
Amen. Everybody, go ahead and say y'all goodbyes and tell everybody we love them.
Bye.
Bye for now. And
Bye, guys. I'll talk to you later.
I'm keeping this
Come
one
with us.
open. Love you so much.
10 a.m. We'll be in front of the Harris County Jail talking
still-
about the opposition to the cash bail reform by our